Hi there folks, how you doing? I'm the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I'm offering this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit and for the soul. And the title for today's reflection is Living Spiritually Alive, Wholeness, Health and Well-Being. So to begin, I invite us just to still ourselves together. Let's invite a loving presence to be here amongst us and to awaken from deep, deep within us all. So let's join together, despite being physically separate, united in our devotion to life and to love. Be still with me. Enter into the crescent fold of my arm and join as one in this time and this space together. Wind your thoughts like a river toward the center of who we all are, as one humanity in this our shared world. Be still with me as we join together on the beautiful, beautiful journey. We are vessels sailing together in the ship of love and life, journeying on the waters of life, alive with a purpose and a strength unknown to us. Be still with me as we enter this time together. Enter together in stillness, alive, a stilling heart, as we enter together in the spirit of love and the spirit of gratitude. Let's live this life together. Journey on, folks. Let's journey on. Last Sunday was a long, long day, a full day, a busy day. And I don't just mean my usual Sunday duties. No, that was busy too, but also had extras there even. But all sorts of other things were just going on throughout my day. Folk contacting me from morning right through to night, having to carry so many things in my heart, in my mind, in my soul while I went about my duties for the day. My phone didn't stop pinging, although it was on silent all day. And nor did my interactions, and nor did my conversations abate. Late in the day, I found myself ligging out on the settee, as we say in Yorkshire. Lying and relaxing, it means. I was eating and only half watching a drama on television, just relaxing. I felt satisfied, if exhausted. And as I was ligging there, as I was ligging out, just relaxing, I was making all kinds of noises with my mouth and with my throat. Things like that, which is something I like to do when I'm relaxing and making soothing sounds, if you like. I thought to myself as I was doing so that I really do need to learn overtone singing, but that would take a lot of practice and I'm not sure I've got the time. I found that I was creating some beautiful bottom end notes, and as I was doing, I was smiling to myself in a state of bliss. I was just pleased with myself, if you like. As I went to bed, later than I'd planned really, I decided I would not set my alarm. Instead, I would wake naturally, if you like. Not that you can wake unnaturally, can you really? But not by alarm, I suppose, is what I mean. So I would wake naturally, as I heard someone once say. Well, I must have been utterly exhausted as I just slept through and in a very deep, deep sleep, right through till 5 to 9 a.m. the next day, which is unheard of for me, to be fair. I awoke and began my day in the usual manner, which included, as soon as I wake, sharing my It Comes in the Little Things reflection I've been doing for about 6 weeks now on Facebook. It's a spiritual discipline I've just kept on, and I intend to keep going. How I have delighted in so many other people joining in, actually, and it's been a delight hearing what they've shared, people encouraging too. I had much to do that day, including dealing with many of the pressing issues left over from the day before. That said, despite these many challenges and the troubles of the world, I was in good spirits. I had music in me all day, all week really. As I ventured into the day, the following poem, Any Morning by William Stafford, was singing in my heart and in my soul. Here, I'll share it with you. Any Morning by William Stafford. Just lying on the couch and being happy, only humming a little the quiet sound in the head. Trouble is busy elsewhere at the moment. It has so much to do in the world. People who might judge are mostly asleep. They can't monitor you all the time, and sometimes they forget. When dawn flows over the hedge, you can get up and act busy. Little corners like this, pieces of heaven left lying around, can be picked up and saved. People won't even see that you have them. They are so light and easy to hide. Later in the day, you can act like others. You can shake your head. You can frown. Any morning can be a little corner of heaven. Any morning. Well, I could feel that little corner of heaven that morning, as I had the night before, despite the very real concerns and worries close at hand and in the wider world. Worries and troubles that have been very much with me this week. Not that I've been downbeat at all this week, quite the opposite. I have felt connected, in good shape actually, with a real sense, a deep sense of well-being. And I found myself humming and singing along to myself an awful lot this week, particularly groovy times, groovy times. Groovy times are here again. It's a song by The Clash. When I'm in good spirits, for some reason it comes into me. Hey, groovy, groovy times, groovy times. Later that day, I found myself watching the BBC News. I ration myself to once a day with such things, really. It's important to understand what's going on in the world, but not to be obsessed with it. Easy to get obsessed, isn't it? Now, amongst the many troubling stories that were on the news the last Monday, there was one that was just wonderfully heartening. I found a little piece of heaven, if you like. It was a story about the life of the wonderfully named Mercedes Gleets, who was the first British woman to swim the English Channel in 1927. By the way, she was also the first person to swim the Straits of Gibraltar a little later that year. Now, these two achievements, although they were celebrated at the time, were completely unknown to her own children and grandchildren. A film has just been completed celebrating her life, and a blue plaque has been unveiled at her former Brighton seaside home. Now, the news item that day was shot just by her home on Brighton Beach on a freezing cold January morning. On the beach, there were scores of people going for their daily dip in the freezing sea. And they're not alone. It seems to be the in thing this winter, you know. I know people that go what's called wild swimming, and they go each week in Pickmere Lake out in Cheshire. They go every single week. I know a whole load of folk who went there on New Year's Day, actually, to see in the new year, to swim in the freezing lake, wild swim, cold water swimming. I am told that it is incredibly invigorating, and those who do it say it makes them feel so alive. And I understand that there are many health benefits to cold water swimming, such as boosting the immune system, creating endorphins that lift the mood, improving both circulation and libido, the burning of calories, and the reduction of stress, as well as creating a really healthy sense of community as these people come together to do this shared shared encounter, this shared experience. It increases socialization, helps with loneliness, I suppose, helps with isolation. Now, I've not yet been tempted to take a dip myself, not yet at least. I'm probably too scarred by holidays in Scarborough as a child and the cold, freezing North Sea, even in the middle of summer. That said, I have said I would never do many things in the past, and then I've ended up doing them. So I ought to learn you should never say never, should you really? So we shall see about that. Although I have to say, I am more a man for a nice hot bath after I've been exercising. I love to soak after working hard at the gym. I love to loll and listen to music very, very loudly post-workout, not during, interestingly, and before I enjoy a nice meal. This all contributes to a deep sense of connection and well-being. And it's this actually that fuels me, enables me to fully engage in a very, very busy and active life. The messages, the phone calls, the encounters, the conversations haven't stopped all week. There is so much going on. So I need this precious time to nourish myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, so I can engage in an active life. All this extra stuff outside of my normal duties, of course. I need to take care of myself, body, mind, spirit, soul. At the beginning of the year, so many of us resolve to live healthier lives. Gym membership soars, as does attendance at slimming groups and their like. General physical well-being is often in our minds during the winter months, especially early January. So we've probably already passed the peak of that. But while there's a great deal of talk of improving our physical well-being, which is vital, of course, there seems to be far less talk of taking care of our spiritual well-being, which actually may be more important, I have discovered. If I have learned anything in life, I know that my emotional, mental, physical well-being rests on my spiritual health. I have discovered that if I take care of my spiritual well-being, as a result, the rest just seems to take care of itself. I never forget the importance of first things first. If I'm in good spiritual nick, I will do what I need to do in other areas of my life. But if I'm not, I won't do anything. I'll stay in bed, probably, unable to live in this world. And the purpose of developing our spiritual well-being is to improve our capacity to live this life. I agree with my esteemed colleague, the Reverend Bill Darlison, who claims that the purpose of spirituality is to increase our sensitivity to life. The purpose of spirituality is to increase our sensitivity to life. It's not so much to transcend this life, but to enable us to engage more fully in this life. And this is something that no one else can do for us. It is our task, our responsibility. So engaging in spiritual practice, that is what enables us to do so, and it's our responsibility to do that. As the Zen proverb said, no one else can eat your food for you. No one else can go to the toilet for you. No one else can live your life for you. And of course, no one else can do your practice for you. It's our responsibility. Freedom is about that, being responsible for what is ours to be responsible for. It's the greatest freedom of them all, actually, to take responsibility, to live spiritually alive, to engage better with life, to be more sensitive to life, and then experience life more fully in so doing, and then you get more free. Amazing, isn't it? So maybe this is something to think about as we move into the year, to find ways to improve our spiritual well-being, to find a practice and to stick at the practice so as to increase our sensitivity to life and thus to live more spiritually alive. It doesn't need to be anything drastic. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to the extremes of cold water swimming in a lake in the middle of Cheshire. Well, it could be. It could be something much simpler. I am continuing my daily practice of paying attention to and sharing the little things. It's made a huge difference, doing so. For every single day that passes, I am noticing more and more of these little things. And I'm finding so many other folk doing the same and sharing their little things with me and with each other. It is a wonderful delight. It's not my only spiritual practice, but it's something I've added. And my goodness, it's made a difference. It has increased my sensitivity to life. It's enabled me to live more fully in life and to experience life more fully. To live spiritually alive requires that we increase our sensitivity to life. In so doing, it enables us to live more actively in the world, and thus our lives will feel more meaningful, more meaning-filled. It's happening to me. It is this that will give us a sense of well-being, of health. Health, a word that has its root in the Old English word help, meaning wholeness, a being whole, sound or well, from the Proto-Germanic word helitho, meaning whole, uninjured, of good omen, from older words meaning holy, sacred or healed. In Latin, in fact, it shared its root with salvation. And healing, wholeness, health are about being in relationship with ourselves, one another, and life itself. It's about increasing our sensitivity to all that is, and that's true well-being. When we live this way, we feel spiritually alive, as opposed to feeling estranged from life itself. And spiritual well-being occurs in such relationships with ourselves, with each other, with life, and with whatever we believe is at the core of life. And in these relationships, healing occurs, salvation occurs. This doesn't mean that we're not affected by life, of course not. There is no cure for life, so to speak. If anything, by doing so, life will affect us increasingly. And therefore we'll be more effective in life. It does not mean that the real troubles of life are taken away, quite the opposite. What happens is that by being in relationship with all life, our sensitivity to life increases, and we experience wholeness, well-being, health, and we are thus touched by healing, by the healing waters of life, if you like. We are filled with love, right in the middle of life's challenges, and in so doing, we know spiritual comfort, and thus know what it means to be whole. We feel wholly alive. We live holy lives, if you like. Health, well-being is not an absence of trouble or illness. Instead, it is a sense of being fully alive. Like those feelings that the wild swimmers describe. I am alive. I feel so alive. That's what it means to be healthy and well-being. A sense of being fully alive in this life. So think about it. Can you think of one thing that can help improve your spiritual well-being and thus increase your sensitivity to life? And can you share it with those in your life to encourage them? Can you attempt to stick at it day by day? Go on, give it a go. I'd love to hear about it. I'm certain others would love to hear about it too. Share it with me. I'd love to know how you get on. We each find our own bliss in life, our own groovy times. We all rejoice in our own way. So let's go seek and discover. Let's live wholly alive. Let's live holy lives. Amen. So I'm going to end today's little reflection with a few words of blessing. We need to bless more. And we can all bless We bless by giving our whole hearts to life. So let's begin today. Let's give our whole hearts to life. Many days may we share life together and flower and flow with all that is and was and ever shall be. Let us bless life in our hearts through our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, and life will bless us in return. So let's engage fully in life. Let's increase our sensitivity to life itself. And let us do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Amen.